Hello, everybody. Welcome
Hello,
to Torment.
hello.
Hello. That's Alex Scudlow talking right there, by the way, everybody. That's Alex Scudlow. And right there to her right is Steven Ren, her wonderful fiance. They're my friends. They are probably some of the oldest friends this podcast has, to be quite honest. And the name of this podcast is Tormenting Tarmac, where the enthusiast never dies. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you may be listening. This is the 196th installment, if you can believe it. That's insane to think about. But I hope everybody's having a great day. We're gonna have so much fun. We're gonna talk a lot of cars because that's what this podcast is all about: is cars and car culture. And Steven and Alex have amazing taste in cars, which is like that might be the most obvious statement on
I
tonight's
take what I can
podcast.
get.
Yeah, that's you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying, dude. I remember. Okay, so we just mentioned this. I've been friends for 4 years now. Um, and I think, remind me, when you and me and Alex first met, was the R8 or was it the Carrera?
I don't even remember what came first.
I
I
The prayer
I
came
think
before the
I
RA.
think it
no,
was the
I also
Carrera,
had
right?
an AMG GTS.
I didn't know you. I know you. I knew you after you sold it. I met you after you sold the GTS.
Was it after we moved into this house?
Probably because it was right when you were still. What was the OG handle? One fast banana
That was from my
Oh, he
from
still
the
had the
M4 days,
Carrera.
right?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah. I changed my handle right when I bought the career. I didn't have that for long, so that was like February 2022.
yeah.
2021. February 21.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So I think you and I met via Instagram in 2021 and then started.
5 years.
Yeah, it's
Five.
been, dude, we go way back. It's been 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. Yeah. I guess 4.5 years since we did our very first podcast over at
I think
Forzo
yes.
4. Is
We
that
have a
Kovu?
guest.
It is. He's trying to come up.
Kovu
We have
loves
an
coming on this
additional
podcast.
guest.
Yeah, no. I mean, Kovu's a natural. He's hung out on the podcast like maybe 3 or 4 times at this point. Like he just loves to hang out with us. I don't blame him. We do a good show and whatnot. He does like to go ahead and put his tail in people's faces, which is hilarious,
Oh
and in the
yeah.
mic. He's done it
Yeah.
on multiple occasions. So I think the time that me, you, and Timmy, shout out to Tim, did a podcast over at your place. Kovu went ahead and just put his tail straight up on the mic. It was great.
Yeah, he does that
Oh my gosh, it's so
frequently.
good. Um, but yeah, hey Kovu, what's up? So okay, Alex, let's think about this for 1 second. How many podcasts have we done together at this point? Me, you, and Steven together.
Ooh. Are we including the Nights of the Photography Roundtable?
Might as well because you are a staple of that series. So
There's
you've
second
been
three
you
or
and Cody
four.
have been on it. Yeah, you and Cody have been on all of them, and AJ. Shout out to AJ.
That's been
Um,
four? Three? Four?
we've done
Oh,
four nights podcasts, and
And then I
then
think this is our fifth or sixth one of these. So
wow, 10 times, dude. I think you're my most frequent guest.
5% of the episodes.
5% of the episodes is automotive Alex, and then 3% of the episodes are Steven Ren. That's crazy. That's
That is, it's quite a bit.
you're my favorite. You're my favorite Chinese dude though, so that makes sense, bro. You know what I'm saying?
mine too.
Yeah. Yo, actually, can I? Okay, serious question, and I'm gonna try and word this as least racially as possible because it might come across very weirdly. And if anybody's not gonna take offense to this, it will be Steven Ren because Steven Ren doesn't take the offense to anything. But last episode, big shout out, of course, to Ray Roberts and Mark McCarthy who hung out with me on TT last episode and whatnot. So we had a really deep discussion of course, the Ferrari Luce, right? And we not to dive too deep into that car because we already had like a 20 plus minute conversation last episode. But I don't think I've gotten too much of your thoughts. And Alex has been relatively mum on that car for I can assume good reason. But there's this thing that I've heard multiple people say, and they keep bringing up the fact that the Luce part of the marketing strategy for it is, because it's an EV for China. And I get that the EV market is enormous in China. Like that everybody knows that. But they keep on making it seem like, oh, they made this car for China. And I keep on wanting to tell people that it is so disrespectful to the Chinese automotive enthusiasts to go ahead and make it seem like they have zero taste, because you keep saying that that car is for China. I don't think there's a single automotive enthusiast in China that's going to look at that Luce and say that's a good looking car. So you, my friend, are Chinese American with great automotive taste. Can you please, for the love of everything that is holy, either prove me wrong or prove me right?
So
Not saying that you speak for all of China, by the way.
I can't speak for all of China, and I'm pretty far removed. And in terms of knowing China, I am pretty far removed because we just recently visited, and I was astounded at how many EVs there were there. So I wouldn't say it's an insult to them, because first of all, I don't know how they will feel. I feel like a lot of people have adapted to EVs more than Americans have.
There's a difference
In
between
China.
adapting to EVs and adapting to how the looks of this car is, though. Is that
Right.
fair to say? Right?
And
Okay. Cool.
and I can't say I've had too much interactions with actual enthusiasts in China, because they're very hard to find.
Fair.
To be an enthusiast in China, you have to be very, very, very wealthy. And I haven't had many interactions with those people. But overall, I think even the Chinese enthusiasts are going to be more accepting of this car than, say, Americans, because we drive gas vehicles on a daily,
Sure.
and in China everything is EV, practically everything.
Right.
But you can see that the luxury brands like the Bentleys, the G-Wagons, those are all gas powered. So I do assume the enthusiast still likes gas. So the assumption I can't tell you whether the assumption holds true or not, because I don't have any knowledge on it.
That's fair.
So I really don't have a good grasp on an answer for that. But in my opinion, I think they're going to be a little more accepting than the U.S. Or the rest of the world on the Luce.
But that's based on the mindset that they designed the car for the Chinese enthusiast market and not just for
I think it's
the
a
rich
scapegoat.
Chinese people
Right.
in general
I
who
think
aren't
that's right.
enthusiasts but just want to say I drive a Ferrari.
I
in
think
China.
that's a scapegoat for Ferrari to pin it on China, because I mean, how many wealthy Chinese families are going to come out and say I don't like the Luce? They're
Not only not just liking a Luce, liking a $600,000 Luce.
Well, when you're looking at a Ferrari, money's really no object when you're buying a car in that country, because it's a couple times more than the U.S. So money really isn't an object. You buy what you like in that country because everything is so expensive.
Right.
So I guess the production numbers will tell you whether the wealthy Chinese buyers are looking or liking the Luce, or you won't really know, because Ferrari plays the game of you have to buy a certain amount of cars for you to get the next exclusive car. So the data is going to be pretty unclear on whether it's their desire to purchase the vehicle, or whether it's a forced purchase based on their future desires for the
Absolutely. Yeah. Now,
Very
no, I totally get you. Now, I want to be clear, and I made it clear on the last podcast, and I continue to make it clear on social media, which you can go ahead and follow us at Tormenting Tarmac. You can follow Alex at Automotive Alex, and you can go ahead and find Steven over at Issa Write-Off, which to this day is still one of the greatest IG handles I've ever seen in my entire life. I want to make it very clear. I, Jorge Aquino, do not have necessarily a problem with Ferrari having made an EV. Why? Because we kind of know that that's the game that we're playing now, right? We've seen so many luxury brands make an EV within their lineup. My biggest beef when it comes to this particular car is it's genuinely, and not by Ferrari standards, it's just by regular automotive standards. It's one of the ugliest cars I've personally ever seen in my entire life.
Looks like a Prius.
Dude, I'll tell you this right now, the current gen Prius shits on this car. Like, to me, the current gen Prius looks so much better than this car. there are very few cars that look worse than this car does, and that to me is a genuine problem.
I
So
think if they
Alex,
made
oh,
it
go ahead.
super futuristic and I get what they were doing with the
Yeah,
analog.
I get what they were
It
doing.
just doesn't make sense. Like if they stick a massive screen in that car,
Right.
I think it would have flowed better. But that's just me.
Sure. Now, Alex, I've always thought you have really good taste and whatnot. You went ahead and brought up some really incredible points. But to my credit, you have stayed really mum on this car. And to be fair, you've never been one to necessarily give your opinion on
If you don't have anything nice to say,
you
don't
don't
say
say
anything at
anything at
all.
all. Alexander Sczudlo, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not buying a Ferrari anytime in the future from a dealer. So I'm shit out of luck to begin with.
I mean, fair. That being said, Alex, not to put you on the spot, but again, let's just, for conversation's sake, you saw the car just like we did and whatnot. And by the way, there's another car that I want to talk to you guys about because it came out within the last week. And it's, within a car brand that the three of us hold in high regard. And I'll get to that in a second. But knowing the fact that you have seen this now out for like 3 weeks and stuff like that, you're a photographer by trade. Is there any saving grace? Because Michael said that the rear lights of this car remind him of a 355. Fair. I love you, Michael. You're an angel. God bless you. That if that reminds you of a 355, I'm with you. You being a photographer by trade, is there any angle from this vehicle that you say to yourself, see it?
Pininfarina's making great looking cars.
I think if you wrap it matte black and make everything black, I think that's my solution for cars that I don't think look very good.
Yeah, everything looks good in black. I will give you
And
that.
this is not a jab at any of my friends with black cars. I recently started like.
I mean, your fiance's car is black underneath the yellow. On top of that, by the way,
It's gray.
Friendly reminder. Oh, it's gray. Is it dark gray? Oh, you know what? I saw it at night. That's totally fair. My bad. It's also been yellow for like a year and a half now, so I honestly can't even remember what it looks like anymore. I'm sorry. It's a dark gray. You're absolutely correct. But that being said, you crack a joke at saying Pininfarina is making good looking cars as if they ever stop making good looking cars. Hey, Pininfarina, how you doing? But genuinely, like, I just see. I remember when the interior was Ferrari knew what they were doing, and they knew that this wasn't going to hit well. I think they knew it from the very get go. But hey, it is what it is. They still went ahead and put all the resources into it. I never had a problem with the interior. I just find it so weird that they decided to go ahead and use the cool to me, right? The cool simplistic interior to go along with the weird vibe that is the exterior. Like the clashing of this is so odd.
I kind of think that this isn't a car that was meant to sell to enthusiasts. This was, I mean, let's be honest. If you look at the car market, 99% of the car market is not enthusiasts. It's just people who like really don't care. I mean, there's people out there driving Kia Niros, like.
If I was an executive,
my sister had one and she hates cars.
If I was a Ferrari executive, I'd do the same thing. You bring a butter electric car, you sell it for all the money. Sure. You force your guys to buy it. It makes economic sense. It's just not a good enthusiast take. Which Ferrari isn't. And Ferrari isn't private. It's a publicly traded brand. So yes. It's not an enthusiast-owned company anymore, and you can't expect it to do what it does. I mean, it makes I don't know why my phone just lit up, and there was a picture of a BMW XM, and I looked at that, and I looked at the Luce. I'm like, wow, the XM looks good. It was 6 months
ago.
XM
looks like the XM looks like my wife did on her wedding day compared to what the Ferrari Luce looks like.
If I'm saying the XM looks good, I mean, compared to what I said about the XM a few years ago. I mean, it really puts a perspective on what I think of the car. I mean, nothing against Ferrari. Not a car for me.
No, and that's the thing. There's nothing against Ferrari either. Well, that's not necessarily true. They have been on a roll of really tough looking cars over the last.
The A49 looks good.
I think it looks better than most people realize, but.
If the Ferraris right now weren't ugly, the A49 wouldn't look good. But out of all their lineup, that's the best looking car.
You're probably right. I still might say 296, but like 849 all of a sudden doesn't look too bad compared to what they got going on. You're not wrong.
I don't love the 296. I don't know what it is. I can't get over the looks of it.
Well, it's kind of hard to go. It's kind of hard to look at a 296 and say, "Wow, that's a banger of a car."
After look at the F8. The F8 is one of the best looking cars they've ever made,
dude. Okay, so let's talk about the F8 for 1 second, because you guys have been around F8s a bunch lately and all that good stuff. And so true story, and I've mentioned this on the podcast before. I remember when the F8 first came out. Was it 2020 or was it 2019 that the F8 came out?
20
or 21?
21. My buddy
21. Yeah. Okay, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I remember crapping on the F8. I crapped on it because I was like, all they did was take the 488 and they put brand new body panels on it. Which, by the way, to be fair, that's the 488 is a 458 with wider hips, and then the big difference is obviously the different engine. We all know that, right? But the F8, I remember looking at that car and just being mad at it. Same thing with the 812, by the way. 812 was the same thing when they.
You don't know what you have until you lose it.
That's the thing, because now I look at an 812 and I'm like, that's probably the best looking Ferrari of the last 25 years.
You have to make something ugly for you to realize you have.
For you to realize it afterwards and whatnot. You're absolutely right.
I didn't want an F8. I really didn't want an F8. And then
I want an F8 now.
And I'm like, well, dude, the 296s are like $275,000. They're cheaper than F8s.
I know they are.
They are cheaper than F8.
They're
that really
cheaper.
Tells you something about the market, direction of the market. People, that's people speaking for the market.
I do like the SP3 styling on.
I love the SP3.
Oh, well, the SP3, see, that's the thing. The SP3, like to Ferrari's credit, SP2, SP1, SP3 are so far and removed from what the quote unquote normal lineup is of Ferrari right now.
But I like that they brought the styling from the SP3 into the 296 in the rear.
Oh, sure. I see where your head's at.
With the little venti hole thing in the rear.
Yeah, but they brought it down so it's so far removed, like you said. I don't really see it that much.
Yeah.
I know the 296 is an incredible car. I just think that makes it better look.
Well, it's funny you bring up 296, Steven and Alex, because business wise and stuff like that, you're always you and I always talk about you're looking for deals and stuff like that, right? And so from that perspective, let's talk about SF90 for just one hot second, because we brought up 296 and everything like that. And over the last 3 years, if you will, since SF90 has been out, the drop on that car has been
I knew that car was not going to do well.
We all knew. Yeah, we had a feeling. But let me ask you this, because you are you are that guy that you notice a deal, and if you can jump on it, you will. Where is it that you say, from the perspective of if I had the cash, where is it that the SF90 needs to start dropping to? Because it's already dropped so hard. But where is the number? I had this
conversation with my friend Steve.
Where's the number that you jump at it?
Spec dependent, though.
Yeah, I think I had this
100% is. 100% is, Alex.
Steven said about 300, and I'd agree with them. It's a lot of car for 300, and plus I think you could
a lot of car for 400.
I think you could do downpipes in two now. I mean, they are close to 400. I just think for mid 300s, the 750 is a great car.
Sure.
I don't know. I just think the 750 looks pretty cool, and they're incredibly fast. I mean, the SF90, I think at the same price as the 750, it is a great competitor. But good specs are still up there, and of course, it's the plain Jane specs that are in the low 4s, high 3s.
Right. Let me ask this, because Alex, you when I feel like you drove a McLaren, how long ago was it you drove one of the Super Series McLarens? Was it about a year and a half ago I saw you driving one?
Sports Series. I've never had a Super Series.
No. Not the fact that she drove yours and whatnot, but I feel like you would have driven somebody else's Super Series not too long ago, or maybe.
I don't think I ever drove my friend's Super Series, but I definitely had a lot of time with it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Spend a lot of time with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So then let me ask you this, because you meant I'll throw it to you, Steven. I'll throw it back to Alex. You've got these two cars that you just brought up that at this current time, the numbers are, let's call it maybe a $50,000 difference, which in that number is still a big gap, but not as big a gap as we think, right? It's same as the housing market, where it's oh,
It's
this house might
negligible when it comes to 50 grand.
exactly. Like the differences become relatively incremental when you're looking at a monthly payment and stuff like that.
Right.
You've got an SF90, which is all-wheel drive, but then you go ahead and compare it to a 750 and whatnot, which is kind of a rowdier car. It's rear-wheel drive and whatnot.
Right.
You know, at some point, you just got to ask yourself what experience it is that you're looking for. So, Alex, let me ask you: you got these two cars in front of you. What's the experience that you would be looking for? Because I know you pretty well, but
I mean, I think I'm still gonna lean to the 750S.
right.
And like when it comes down to it, it's a more fun car. It's rowdier. It looks better. The doors go up. Like it's just like things like that.
So happy to do this.
It's just like at the end of the day, like it's a like again, there's certain SF90 specs or that are like
it looks
not.
like a viola Parsifal.
Oh, like we have a friend, and his is like almost like a china blue color with yellow accents and carbon wheels.
Crazy fucking
Gorgeous.
spec. I take that all day.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
But it's gonna come down to like spec dependent. But if it's like two very base looking cars, I'm gonna pick.
750.
That's true. But I'm still gonna pick the 750. Like when it comes down to like two very base
No,
cars.
no,
'Cause, like
I would take the S. He had like a.
no, we're talking about base.
No, I know, but like he had a tailor-made SF9.
I mean, let's be real though, because when people are specing these cars, I mean, how many people would we actually think are actually going to take a very, 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 very close to base SF90? Whereas if
Ferrari
you
didn't let you. Ferrari didn't
but
let you.
they don't let you. First of all, you have to option it. But I feel like McLaren, they would almost be more appreciative of the fact that you are buying a base spec 750 because you really want to drive the absolute ever living crap out of it. Does that make sense?
There's not that much. There's not that much options on the 750. I think you could do a lot of MSO stuff, but like most 750 fall within like 30, 40K MSRP range.
Which is not bad.
Yeah, unless it's like an incredibly spec car with MSO, everything MSO louvers, carbon.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Ferrari, you can go to the moon. I mean, you can with McLarens too, but more people do that with Ferraris.
Oh, dude, I'm going to tell you this right now. So if I'm not mistaken, Luce is a $640,000 USD starting price. Mm-hmm. We will see like $900,000 Luce.
$1 million Luce
for ADM. Yeah. And it's going to be all options. Like people are going to drive like 200.
For that car?
Oh, the ADM. Well, there is no such thing as ADM on that car. I swear to you, dude, if I see ADM on a Luce, I will crash out. I will crash out.
There was an ADM on the SF90, and we knew it wasn't going to do what it did. But
yeah, but at least the SF90 looked somewhat good. It still looks somewhat good. Like if there's an 80, like the fact that there's ADM on Luce, that on even the DC Cylindri, still low key blows my mind.
I mean, if you think about it, we had 20, 30K ADMs on base C8s. They're $50,000 cars now. They were over 100 grand with ADM. More than that, like I've seen them at like 110, 120, and they're like literally $50,000 cars.
Oh, I know, dude. I've said it a million times that a C8 Z06 at 90 grand is like the bargain of the year. The bargain of the year.
Oh, it is. No, 100%. I talked to my friends about this. If you want a track car, you just build the shit out of a base C51 C8, and you have a very capable car. I mean, I've always said this: when the C8 is 50 grand, they're going to be phenomenal.
Oh, they are. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Eddie. Obviously, Eddie's got his Z06. He's got like maybe 10,000 miles on it, if that. He drives it when he can. Obviously, he's got a bunch.
He can't drive it much.
He can't really drive it that much. Plus, he's got all the press cars. But like every single time he drives that car, he's always smiling. He's always like, "This is a great purchase." And I'm like,
I was just behind one this morning. It's a great sounding car. I think the Z is a good car. I think we've seen Zs for under 100. I think as they continue to trend with all these other cars going up, a Z eventually for 70, 80 grand is going to be the best car you can buy.
I mean, it's kind of up there right now as an option. I do remember though that a certain someone drove a Z06, and she didn't like it as much as she thought she would. I don't know if we talked about it. Have your thoughts changed since then? Because it's been a couple of years since you last drove one, right?
I was last year. I mean, I still think it's phenomenal.
It wasn't a Z. It was a base.
Yeah, it was
a base Z06. Oh, okay, fair.
It wasn't a Z06.
It was a Z51.
Oh no, that's right. You had the press car. That you did have the press car. But it was a convertible too. I do remember that. Yes. Shout out to Chevy for hooking you up with that press car. That's right. Yeah, of course. The C8, the regular C8 is
I've been
even.
telling her to go drive a Z06. I still haven't driven the Z06, but I heard the base C8 like has literally identical stats to an Urus, which like the Urus handles
But I
incredible.
like sitting in my Aston Martin and touching Alcantara and plastic.
It's true. The C8's. I mean,
It's
it's a high production car.
Yeah.
It's a performance car. It's the best bargain car out there. You can't be expecting Alcantara
No, I know.
everywhere. I mean, they do have an L3 LZs, or 3 LTs.
Yeah, but I mean, to me, if you're buying a Corvette, going all the way like 3 LT spec, I think it's overdoing it. I think going 2 LT is probably the right move. Like getting like a mid spec in terms of interior and whatnot. Like to me, getting a Z06 with like that 2 LT interior.
My friend would disagree with you. He wants that carbon on the steering wheel.
Hey, listen, all right, my brother in Christ, like that's all you, baby. Like you want the carbon on the steering wheel, that's all good with you. That's all good with your boy. That's okay.
But yeah, 2 LZ. I agree with you because I told him the same thing. 2 LZ is good enough.
2 LZ is good enough because then you don't want to go ahead and overthink. And here's the thing that to me, the key thing about a Corvette is just go ahead and drive it as much as possible. Don't go ahead and be that one dude who then gets mad at, oh, I took a bath on it. Well, you took a bath on it because you didn't fucking drive it. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. Like,
gonna take a bath on it either way. It's a bet.
Well, I don't think, yes, although I do think that anybody who buys a ZR1 is probably not going to take that high of a bath on it, but I'm with you. You're not wrong. I'm with you. I think regular base Corvettes, they're a value, right? It's like Costco. You know what I mean? You don't go there for, you go there because you know exactly what you're going to be able to go ahead and spend, and you're going to get something great in return. Costco and Southwest, they go hand in hand along with a Corvette. But speaking of mileage, the last time you would have been on the podcast, Alex, would have been in December, right before Christmas. So you would have gone ahead and had nearly triple the mileage on the Aston from when you bought it.
Yeah.
Right. So where are we at now? What's the odometer at?
17.9.
17.9, almost 18.
I'm sorry, 17.9 is what you said? And you bought this, I believe you bought it with 6 000? Okay.
No, like high fives or something.
High fives.
5,700 miles.
Yeah. Mind you, ladies and gentlemen, we always make the point. Alexandra works from home. She doesn't go to the office.
She doesn't go anywhere. She's got other cars to drive. She literally has all of them. She got like 15 other cars to drive before she has to drive her own.
That's too, and she still has 17. And mind you, she's flying all over the place now, and she still has put 17,000 miles on her car. That's really impressive. What have you learned so far in the well over a year and a half, almost 2 years at this point, experience? What have you learned? Like, is there something new that you're learning more about this car every single day? Do you feel like you've learned everything you need to know about it, or is there anything that still impresses you?
Definitely, it was a little bit of a learning curve going from like the F8X platform and the E9X platform to the Vantage, just in like how it drives. So I've gotten significantly better at driving the Vantage because the Vantage does tend to like understeer versus those cars didn't really have those issues. So I've got it. So it requires a different level of aggression going into the corners where you're applying throttle, all that stuff to get it through the corner and to get the car to rotate. Also, like, I feel like all the BMWs are practically like a cheat code when it comes to like cornering on the track. Like,
perfect weight.
You just point it and it goes. With the Vantage, like it wants to keep going in whatever direction it's going. So getting it to rotate is like, it's very different. And it's taught me like the importance of like essentially of tires, like running old tires versus new tires, like how different the driving experience is in cornering, which in my BMW, I didn't notice as much because it was just very good at that. So it was like little things like that I've learned. I've gotten a lot more confident in driving the vehicle. Still speed bumps are still like the bane of my existence, but
is the Aston lowered? I forget.
It is. It's lowered on the Velocity AP progressive lowering springs. But the problem, it's not the lip. So the lowest part of the Aston Martin is its brake ducts, which hang about 2 inches lower than the lip. So they
Wow.
only have about an inch of clearance from the ground. And they're in front of the front wheels, behind the front wheels, and in front of the rear wheels, and behind the rear wheels. So no amount of sideways is saving you if and they're an inch from the ground. Like if a speed bump is like sometimes they physically just don't clear. And it's
Yeah.
the most annoying part isn't like if you scrape them, like I went to the Aston Martin house and I was like, these are the most annoying thing ever on the car. And the Aston Martin guy is like, why do you think it's a $50 part? Like you're supposed to scrape
It's
it.
a
Like
replaceable part.
whatever, it's disposable. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But when you scrape a front lip, you get just a little when you scrape these things, it's like you're sending off an alarm to the whole parking lot that says you're scraping. It's so ridiculously loud when you scrape them.
Well, and also I understand that it's a $50 part, but you know what? If you're doing it every time, it's like it may be $50, but then it's going to be consistently like $50. It's
I
having to go
haven't
ahead and
had to
have
replace.
a
I haven't scraped them to the point I have to replace them and like spend the $50. It's just like ridiculously loud when they
It's
do
not a
scrape.
soft plastic piece. It's a really hard. It's a
So it
hard
makes like
plastic piece.
a
yeah.
scraping loud
It's like
noise.
when you go ahead and put your nails over a chalkboard.
Yes, but
Yes, I feel
louder.
that pain.
Hey, crackhead.
Oh, I love that. Dude, I remember when you bought the car and whatnot, and but I never got a chance to ask Steven about it because obviously it's your car. And you drive it all the time. Does Steven get it at all to chance to go ahead and drive it every once in a while? Because
When I'm shooting rollers out of it, he'll drive.
what do you
That's
think
good.
about it, bro? She's had since you guys have been together, she's had the GTI, then the F80, and then now this.
And
How
the
does it
A3.
Oh, the eighth. Oh, and the Lexus. We forgot.
Yeah, and the
Oh,
SC430.
Yeah, we saw that
I
car.
do miss the SC430 and it not ever working all the time. Um, but how is it? How does it compare as a roller car compared to the entire automotive Alex fleet over the last like 5 years?
It's fine. It drives like a game.
The windows are very
It's a
small.
very
They're
small.
very narrow.
I don't know why I was doing this, but I tried sticking my head out, and I mean, my head is the only thing that fits outside the window, and none of my other part of my body will. So I kind of can't stick out the window. So I mean, she's a lot smaller than I am, so she's able to. But it's
You know,
still very inconvenient.
I will ask this, and I hope Caitlin listens to this episode. Hey, Caitlin, I would be curious to know who has the narrower windows. Is it your Vantage or is it her Camaro?
The
Because
Camaro's
Camaros
pretty
are
narrow.
very notorious for having relatively like, and I know fifth gen and she's got a sixth gen, but even the sixth gen, they're still kind of low key. Like
I think the Aspen's still a little smaller
it's a
because
little smaller, right?
I've driven multiple six gens and
Yeah.
I don't remember them being that small. I mean, they were small, but the Astons, like I
They
feel
probably
proud.
got bigger in sixth gen compared to fifth gen because fifth gen it was a genuine problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I just got a ride in a really rowdy fifth gen like last week. And
Oh,
they
nice.
were
Very
really
cool.
tight.
Was it a ZL1 or was it just a regular SS?
It was a ZL. It was a yeah. It was a built motor ZL.
Nice.
It was
Dude, ZL1s, in no way, shape, or form does it surprise me, both in fifth gen and sixth gen, that they've gone ahead and they're starting to creep up. I mean,
oh,
sixth gens have been gone.
I've always known that. I've always
Yeah,
known that.
we knew it was going to happen. But
Right.
I will say, fifth gen ZL1s, I still think that there are deals out there. Z28s are gone. Z28s are starting to get really expensive again for good reason. But I still think a fifth generation ZL1,
Yeah, they're like
there's still deals to be had.
$40,000. They're $40,000. They're not as plush, or they're not as nice as the six gens. I still
They're
think
not,
if you're
but they're
20
rowdy.
Yeah, they are. They're very rowdy. But if you're looking for something to go to the track, I mean, eventually, I think I've always I still want one. I still want the six gen. It's just a car that I'm just gonna keep and just track, I think. But
Yeah.
you can't find them. There's very six gen one LEs are very rare, and if you find them, they usually beat on. Otherwise, they're like a gajillion dollars.
Yeah. I think like low mileage sixth gen ZL1 1LEs
Manuals.
manuals, I'm pretty sure are at least 100 grand right now.
They're not there yet, but
They're
I think
getting up there.
they
They're
will
getting
be
close.
$100,000 parts. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely think so. This is one of the best genuine big V8 manual driving experiences. Like I've driven the C7Zs and the transmission's just not as nice. I think the
Yeah.
ZL1 has one of the best trans
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, well, I remember you drove Jack Ultramotive ZL1 like a couple years back.
I
And
did,
that,
and a couple of my good friends had ZL1s like before that, and I've spent
yeah,
quite a bit of time with them too.
yeah. No, it's definitely a good platform. You know, it's so funny because like even though the Aston and the ZL1 are so different, that is probably one of the closer comparisons in terms of how rowdy they both are. Because to me, what I love about the Vantage, so Alex and I brought this up, or I brought it up to Alex before we hit record, and I said to her that I was listening to the Smoke and Tire talking about the brand new DB12,
Mm-hmm.
and which is basic, which is near as makes no difference, near exactly the same engine that comes in the current gen Vantage. It's the 4-liter twin turbo Mercedes, just like you have, but I think the Vantage makes more power than the DB12, and the DB12 is more of a Grand Tour because the DB12 is now what used to be
It's
the
more
DB11.
torquey.
Yeah. And so the Vantage has always been the sports car in Aston's lineup, right? And so that's personally a reason why I still love a Vantage, even more so than I do a Vanquish or an OG DBS or anything like that, because I prefer a sports car experience more so than a Grand Touring
Well, now they
experience.
have supercars.
Yeah, exactly. And so when I look at a Vantage, like your generation Vantage, your year, and you compare it to a ZL1, they both try to achieve the same thing in different ways. Like they're
Yeah.
both ultra aggressive. Do you think that's a fair comparison, Alex?
The ZL1's
The ZL1 is
better car.
definitely
It's better car driving on the track for sure.
for maybe track driving.
About to
It's
start a
much-
fight between these
It's
two.
much better. I mean, the front tires are like 75 millimeters wider. It's like completely different.
That's
Completely different machine. You
Either way, they're built to be different things. Like the ZL1 is built to be a track car. The Vantage, my generation, is still built to be a Grand Tour. Like it's still a GT car at the end of the day
The new
versus a
ones
track car. That's
You
true.
want a really good.
But I would say that my car, it's not rowdy from factory. Like it's
It's
very
not.
quiet. Yeah.
I remember.
It's very like it's like it took a lot to make my car look and feel as aggressive and rowdy as I wanted it to.
If
Because
you're
from
rowdy-
factory, it felt tame.
I think the rowdy comparison would be the GTR.
Yeah.
They are very similar. The GTR and the ZL1 have very good front grip. Very
Yeah.
similar front grip, very similar, like mechanical grip.
Yeah.
And aero. So the Aston's it's a much softer version of
It is. It is. I think Alex is a little bit more rowdier because how aggressive she's made it over the last year and a half and whatnot. But you're so right.
2 years.
2 years it's been,
2
right?
years.
Unbelievable. You bought it
2 years?
like right after your birthday in 2024. For
Right
your 24th,
before.
right?
I bought it right before my 25th birthday. So I bought it in November of 2024. No, September of 2024.
We recorded a podcast at your house, and a week and a half later, you bought that car, and we couldn't talk about it because we weren't sure what was happening, and then we couldn't announce it on the podcast. So we then talked about it 2 months later, but we could have had the exclusive, Alex. We had the exclusive right in front of us. We just didn't know it. Damn it. I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh. But I remember that. I remember you were on the hunt for like 3 months. And by the way, we say 3 months, but Alex, you can go all the way back to like three years prior to that. And Alex wouldn't shut up of the 4-liter twin turbo Vantage. Like would not shut up about that car. Would say the moment that I'm done with the F80, I'm moving to an Aston. She didn't even have an F80 yet. And to be fair, it wasn't even an F80. She wanted an F87 and then found the F80 and said, I'm going to go ahead and do an F80 instead. That's tormenting tarmac lore. Automotive Alex didn't even want it to be F80 Alex. She actually wanted to be F87 Alex.
Yeah, she wanted an F87.
She wanted an M2 comp for a long time. They were too expensive. And by the way, 2026, 4 years later, they're still too expensive. Tell me how I know.
Same price.
Tell me how I know.
Same price, yeah.
Dude, same. Right. Yo, Steven, let me tell you how hard I'm crashing out on M2s right now because it's I haven't had to speak about this car in a while.
The G87
but I will.
Or the F87?
Yeah. Have you seen again, you know the car market better than even I do. And I think I know the car market okay. You know, but you are a mastermind and I always go to you for a bunch of stuff. Several friends of ours obviously know the car market extremely well as well. Shout out to like Greg and several other people, Sam and all those peeps. F87s, for the life of me, I do not comprehend how they're holding. And mind you, I love the car. You know what I mean? Like I still want. I think you guys know I will never stop talking about a CS until I have one in my driveway.
I've never owned one, but they're really sharp and they're short wheelbase.
Dude,
they're just good cars.
Alex knows this because I haven't shut up about this. But Steven, I drove a CS in December. Finally, after 5 years, bro. It was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, the CS, the F87 CS is
it's the tits, dude.
Yeah, it's the best, one of the best riding cars. And the G80, the G8X platform, the G whatever G platform, the G platform just feels heavier, more planted. The F platform is a lot more playful, and I think the 87 playful, CS, the 87 CS is the pinnacle of that. I think. You can't replace that. I've driven the G87 quite a bit on track. It's faster. Yeah. It does bigger numbers, but I think the F87 is ultimately the better driving car. Just like the E's that came before that, but the E's came before that were underpowered. The F87 was great 100%. Power, good chassis, and great tuning. I think
I would completely agree with that. Which brings me to the point of an M2 competition F87 still being 55 grand.
And they're always going to be that. It's going to be like the ZL1.
I know, and
they're going nowhere.
You know how angry that makes me. Like,
you know what? That gives me a great idea. You know what? I should, instead of buying the ZL1, I should buy that for a track car. I think that's a great track car.
Buying an F87 comp as a track car, I would be okay with this.
I honestly
just try not to crash it, so that means that there's still plenty out there on the road and they don't go up more in value. I'd appreciate that. Not saying that you're a bad driver.
I will buy another E92, but knowing my luck, I don't want to deal with another E92. So
well, you had your E92 for a while, the white one, the 2013 one, and that was and you treated that one like you babied that car, bro.
No,
like in a good way.
Yeah, I tracked it. I tracked it quite a bit.
Yeah, but you tracked it, but I feel like it was you. That was a really clean example that you bought and you kept.
I like that car. It was really a good car. That car. It's one of those cars that I miss owning. I genuinely like that car. I can't tell you why. I can't tell you why. It sounds great. It drives great. Everything about it is great. I mean, with just basic mods, it laps a lot of newer cars. Really, it does. It's the perfectly balanced chassis. That's what that car is all about.
It was heavy then, but it's light now because like that car is like 3,500 pounds, 3,600 pounds.
There's an F87 comp with 100,000 miles for sale for 37 grand. That is crazy.
Where?
Oh, it's in New Jersey, but that's a lot of miles.
It's the same freaking car. Yo, Steven, hold on. Alex, I told you about an M2 competition that was in Tempe. That was a 2019 6-speed, and it does that car. Is that Hockenheim silver by any chance, Steven?
It is,
and it's got white wheels.
No, not white wheels.
But it's aftermarket, correct?
No, it's this car. It's got
very blurred.
No normal wheels.
Okay. Yeah. Alex knows about this car that I'm about to talk about because I told her about it because I was geeking over it, and I had Ray Roberts call into this dealership to see if they'd be willing to go under 35, and they wouldn't. And true story, I've told it already a couple times. They went ahead. This car was at this dealership in Tempe. They had it 91 or 92,000 miles, and it was like 36.8 or some stupid low price like that. Didn't sell. And I kept looking at it for like 2 months and it never sold. One day I look at the dealership and it's gone, no longer there. Then it pops up on cars.com again like 3 weeks later up in New Jersey. And the New Jersey dealership goes ahead and has it up for like 42, which I was like, you're out of your mind trying to sell it at 42 if it didn't sell at 36.
How many miles did it have?
92.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was like a 4-owner car. I was like, bro, it's not going to sell at 42. Didn't sell for almost 37. If you think it's going to sell at 42, you're out of your mind. I thought it was that same car, but you said that this car has 100K on it and whatnot. So it's probably not the same one. But these dealerships need to be real tricky, or need to go ahead and get a little bit more creative with the higher mileage F87 M2 comps, because you can't go ahead and be asking like low 40s when a 50,000 or 45,000 mile example is selling for 52 or 53.
I
Like,
mean,
you have to be smart.
there's a 17,000 mile example selling for 49. So I don't
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what these dealerships are doing, bro.
Well, they can finance people. That's why.
I mean, I can finance all I want. I'm not paying 40 grand for a 100,000 mile M2 comp. Get out of your mind.
Some 22-year-old will.
Ruin your life forever.
Some 22-year-old will. I'll tell you that.
Would 22-year-old Alexandra Sczudlo have gone ahead and bought a 100,000 mile M2 comp, knowing the fact that she really wanted it and could afford it at the time? I don't think so either.
Alex was paying more for wheels to put on her car than she paid for her car.
This is true. No, this is true. I do remember this. This is all actual, very factual information. not only is she telling the truth, we've also talked about it on this very podcast in the past as well.
I think I found a really good deal. This should be a.
Let me tell you something right now. It's not a Tormenting Tarmac episode featuring Steven Ren if he's not looking for deals as we do the podcast. This is a normal thing.
Well, you got me looking at an F82, and this thing's a.
You're welcome.
It's a.
What are we looking at?
F87. I'm sorry. It's
okay.
It's a 2020. It's the. What's the color called? It's the burnt orange color.
Shakira orange?
Yeah, Shakira orange.
Nice. By the way, I've said this before, but anybody who wants to know what the best deal in the F8X platform currently needs to be looking at F82 M4 CSs. That's where the deals are. Because that car is so much car for the money. Like, you know, an M2 CS is chilling at around 70 on an average. An M4 CS, you could go ahead and get at like 55.
I don't think they drive as well.
It doesn't, but at 15 grand difference, you have to ask yourself the math. Fair?
Yeah.
It's just, I'm just talking about value. That's all I'm saying. I'm talking value. I'm also not Steven. I'm also not Alex. I'm not an expert. I'm just looking at it from that outside perspective. It begs the question.
I want to buy an F80 instead. So.
Valid answer, right? And your thing was before F80s started to hold really hard again, because there was a time where F80s were the deal, and now F80s are no longer the deal. F80s are a very strict price, and it's very hard to find one, to me, that's within reason these days for F80 M3s.
Especially clean ones, yeah.
Especially clean ones, exactly. Like, don't even get me started on an F80 comps with a 6-speed. What up, Alex Rack? Don't even get me started. It's ridiculous.
I don't think those. I mean, those cars are becoming more and more collectibles.
Right. No, true. Let me ask you about a new collectible car that came out like a week ago, which I'm still trying to fight my feelings on, which I hinted at when we were talking about the Luce, and I talked about a brand that the three of us all love. And it's fair to say that the three of us are huge Lamborghini fans, right? And so, you know, Temerario is out there, you know, or at least, you know, coming out. People are starting to go ahead and pick up their cars. Revuelto has been out people have been getting their Revueltos now for like the last 6 or 7 months. But Audi comes out with what's the name of this car again? The what?
Oh, the one that looks like a freaking little electric.
The one that looks like a Jag.
Well, yeah, but it's not. Yeah, it's the was it the Navaru? No, what is it?
I don't speak the language.
Hold on, let me look this up really quickly. By the way, anybody who's interested, the Knicks came back from like being like 28 or 27
I don't even know how to say it. It's a limited production car.
Yeah, it's the Audi. And so anyways, the Knicks did win 107 to 106 and just took a 3-1 lead in the NBA finals. And the Novulari, yes.
It sounds like somebody with a lisp is saying no Ferrari.
Oh, that's funny, Alex. I like that. That's valid. I like that. I believe so. They named it after a famous Audi race car driver.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I,
gonna
I
give you guys the floor. The future Mr. and Mrs. Ren. I'll give you guys the floor on this first. What do
I
you guys
hope
think?
I hope it looks like the Camarario.
I honestly don't hate it. Like, I kind of think like I feel like this is gonna be one of those cars where everyone's gonna see the photos and say they hate it, and they're gonna see it in person and think like this is actually kind of sick. Like
Yeah.
it looks like something out of Tron Legacy. Like
Mm.
I kind of like it. Like
Caitlin's gonna appreciate that reference, by the way. That Tron Legacy reference. She's definitely yeah.
That part makes the Camarario look good.
I think it's a little boxy, but I think when we see like the final production version, I actually think that people are gonna think it looks very cool and very unique. It reminds me of some of like the early Lamborghini renders from like the late 20 teens.
They always do a decent job. Audi always does a decent job for design, so I can't imagine
Yeah.
the car will come out looking terrible. I think it'll look good.
I'm still I'm still like 50-50 on it. I can appreciate Audi going out of their way and bringing a car like this back to their market as a real Halo car because it's actually supposed to be way more limited than a Temerario is. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like, what is it, Steven and Alex? Is like it's going to be like 600 cars they're making in total. They're making very little of these cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is a Temerario power plant, obviously, which makes sense. Obviously, R8 in Huracan and R8 in Gallardo shared the same power plant for years. So it makes sense, right?
I mean,
So,
like if you look back, like you had concepts like the Lamborghini, like the Vision Gran Turismo, and
yeah.
you had concepts like the Tesoro Millennial. Like you had those like really crazy looking concepts, and I feel like this is kind of falling in that same category
Yeah.
of
Do you,
like
do you like
futuristic Tron-esque
yeah.
looking cars. And I think previously those were all received very well. I
They
think
were. It's just this looks unfinished to me. I don't know what it
I
is.
feel like it's because right now there's such a push for nostalgia, like just in the market in general. Everyone's very nostalgic. Like they want to go back. That pushing this new stuff, like really new high-end Tron techie looking cars
Yeah.
that previously like the market loved and adored when they came out. Now that they're pushing them, like, well, there's this push from the market to go back like retro, it's no longer matching, which is why you're getting a lot of that. But I think like I think this is one of those cars people will come to really like.
I'm looking at
Sure.
R8
But
renders from like the Gen 2 R8. I never like renders. The Gen 2 R8 renders I really don't like, but the Gen 2 R8.
Yeah. And I mean, Steven can speak to this because he owned a Gen 1.5 R8 for how long did you own it for, bro? Like 8 months?
Maybe something like that. I don't
Something, yeah.
remember.
I feel like it was one of your longest owned cars, bro, since I've known you.
Yeah, it is.
Is that fair?
It's yeah.
Yeah. You had it for a while.
one car modified.
No,
It was the only car he modified? Or one of
With
the
an exhaust.
Oh, that's right. The man, that thing sounded the titty McTick tits, let me tell you. And that in the like the copper orange of that car. Oh my God, that car. That might be my one of my favorite cars you own, bro. Now that I think
It was
about it.
fun when I had the F80 and he had that, and he
That
had
was
to like
good
go to
times.
those things far away. He'd borrow the F80, so then I got to take the Audi to my appointments.
It's not
Showed up
too bad a trade, yo.
showed up to my doctor's appointment asking for a work from home note in the R8.
So good. I love that. Oh my gosh. So here's where I'm kind of stuck though, because again, like, okay, move away from the design. I see your point. I actually respect it. I can see where you're coming from in terms of, the concept look and what they're achieving and everything like that. My thing is, I find it hard to get behind Audi wanting to make this one the limited car when Temerario is not intended to be limited and it's essentially the same thing.
I think they might be done after this. They're not
Like Audi might be done. Yeah.
Well, no, they're not going to be coming out with another, successor for the Temerario.
Like this is their last hurrah. This is like we finished the R8 and we're gonna do this one for like a couple years and then that's it. We're going and then yeah. That's interesting.
I mean, in my opinion, that's what makes sense. Otherwise, they would continue it.
Right.
Because they did the Gen 1, the Gen 2. This is just the last thing that they're going to do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, R8 went for a long time. What was the last? So
Oh
first year
seven.
of '07, right?
Yeah.
And then what was the last year? 21? It
No, there's some final editions that
was
are
like 22, maybe 2023. So it was,
it
I
was
mean,
like
right?
a long time, 15 years at least.
15 years, that's a long run.
Yeah.
Longer than any of it. Like, it's so crazy. We're gonna be looking at R8 and the Nissan GTR as these two cars that everybody was saying, oh, it's the same car and stuff like that. But in 10 years' time, we're going to be looking back, or at least maybe not us, but there's going to be a younger generation that looks at that car and they say, it's going to be these legends. And it's like, yo, man, I remember there was a time where everybody was buying GTRs and R8s, and now they're going to go ahead and be not like, you're not going to be able to buy one because anybody who keeps them is going to want to keep them, and they're going to
Right.
want to take care of them because they made so many of them and so many got wrecked. So many R8s got wrecked. So many R8s got turned into twin turbo, 1200 horsepower, 250-mile-an-hour cars, obviously. Just there's so many bros in Miami and Instagram models in LA all bottom, respectfully. You're gonna look at it in 10 years and saying, what happened to the R8? What happened to the GTR?
There's still an abundance of them though, because they
There's still
weren't.
an abundance. That's why I'm saying, like, in a decade, though, it might change.
Yeah, it's not like a Gallardo. They didn't really make that many Gallardos, but they made an abundance of Huracans and
Yeah.
R8s. I think there will always be inventory for those cars. I
Yeah.
mean, more so than more so than the '07, '08 cars during the crisis. Those cars are obviously a lot less massively produced, and they
Sure.
didn't run for as long. So
Yeah.
we won't see like a drought of those cars, but they're obviously clean examples are going to be far and few in between. As we
Exactly.
all
That's how
already
I
see
maybe should have
that.
worded that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That I wonder if I should have worded it that way and whatnot, but
they won't be rare. They won't be
they
rare,
won't be
but
rare.
the
Yeah.
good examples will be.
Yeah, well, it kind of. I think it might be what we're seeing right now with like Ferrari 360s and F430s, where there's a plethora, but the clean
F430s were
ones,
so cheap. They were so
they,
cheap at one
they were
point.
so cheap.
Everybody bought them, and 360s too. So when it comes to a clean example, they are
Yeah,
very difficult to find. I
it
mean,
it's a whole different ball game now, dude.
yeah,
It's
it's like those cars that people didn't take care of, like
yeah,
trying to find like a really low mileage 997 or
yeah.
996 because they were
Or a
cheap.
low mileage 599. Shout out to to you guys as
Yeah,
friends, right?
yeah, Emma Lindsay.
FBO Lindsay, yeah. Shout out to them
Yeah.
and whatnot. That
The cars,
599
the
ace.
cars that took massive depreciations and that were mass produced and then immediately became popular, those
Yeah,
examples, like the nice examples are far and few in between just because they were cheap. They were
yeah.
potentially not in the right hands and
Alex is
really
just biding her time for Vantages to shoot right back up.
They're starting to tick up.
Are they?
they have
Because it took.
the values have not
Wait,
moved
well,
up.
hold on. Your current gen or the previous gen? Because the
My
previous
current
gens,
gen is
really,
that one's ticking up too, but my current
yeah.
gen, yeah.
I will say the previous gen 6-speed manuals are starting to creep up a little bit because they finally hit that bottom of like 38 or 39 grand.
No, there's this like whole new like
Appreciate
trend of people wanting Aston Martins.
It's actually kind of annoying because I've
No.
wanted an Aston Martin for
Nobody
20
wanted
years.
them when I bought my car.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted
It's
them.
I'll tell you,
I'm not
this is
complaining because everybody else
Sure.
is driving up my value. So
Yeah, exactly. Like you can't really be mad at that. But like I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna be
I
honest.
would buy her Aston, I think I remember buying her car. It was 86.
it was 86.
86.5. And today today's the 10th. So a week ago, a dealer just paid 100 grand for a 9,000 mile example. Identical gray to
Dude,
California.
I remember when the Vantage came out in 2019, and I think MSRP was like 140, right?
140 to 180.
140 to 180, depending on spec, right? And I said to myself, I was like, I would love to know how long it takes for this car to drop under 100 grand. I would
They were in the high 60s at one point.
I
Which one?
Her car.
Your Vantage was what, high 60s?
We
That
were
must
like
have been like a higher
high miles,
mileage.
like
High
maybe,
mileage
yeah.
examples were
Yeah.
there.
But even those
But
cars are
no,
in the
you could
70s.
you could spec them above 180 because mine had a 187 sticker.
Yeah, you had a
Which
very
is
high
insane.
sticker.
Yo, 187 sticker on a Vantage is insane for that generation. I say that knowing now that current gen, like 2025, 2026 Vantages on the cheap end are 187 because I'm
Well,
pretty
the
sure that
crazy thing is if you look at the interesting thing about Aston Martins is if you look at my generation Vantage and the new generation Vantage and you apply inflation, it's the same price. They
is it
didn't jack
okay.
their prices up massively like all these other brands are doing. It's like Porsche's like hundreds of grand more. Like the Aston Martin,
Because I know
literally calculate
BMW
inflation,
M's have always kept
right
up with
there.
inflation. BMW M's have always been good with inflation. I didn't realize that it was like that with your Vantage. That's awesome. That's good to hear, but it's also sucky the fact that inflation is so high, obviously. But like, man, I'll say this. I'm going to go ahead and give you credit. Maybe it wasn't you, but because you're my friend, you and Steven get credit for this and whatnot. And then in the same way, I'm going to go ahead and mention something else. Alex bought her Vantage in 2024 at a really insanely great price. We just name dropped it and whatever. And then nobody wanted them. And now all of a sudden everybody wants them. Sam and Kayla McKay have been going to Japan for like 4 years and whatnot. Nobody cared to go to Japan. Now everybody and their mother's going to Japan. It's hilarious. I don't know why it happens that way, but every single time I see my friends do something, I start to go ahead and see others do the same thing. And I'm just like, it's like when, shout out to Kent. Kent bought his E36 M3, the Red Bull car. Nobody wanted an E36 M3. 3 months later, I see like 8 people buying E36 M3, and I'm like, nobody wanted these cars, and now all of a sudden y'all want them. So
It's okay though. My value's going up.
yeah, I know. For you, in your
Tripled my
case,
miles, and the value of my car hasn't dropped.
it's gone up. Yes.
No, it's just the value of what it. Yeah, it's sat there even with triple miles.
Gosh. The more we show Kovu on the podcast, the more people want cats that listen to Tormenting Tarmac. Right? Kovu's about that life. Dude, Steven, it's been a hot minute since you had last been on the podcast and whatnot. And so about a year ago, Alex got a chance to go ahead and come on. I think it was it episode 199, Alex, that we did together?
It was the one with Caitlin.
It was, yeah, right. And I believe it was 199, right before not 199, 149, excuse me. 199 is what's upcoming, yeah. So it was the one before 150 and everything like that, and like that meant a lot. And but in the same way that Alex has been such an integral part of this podcast, so have you, bro. Like you and I, we become really good friends. I think our friendship goes back, pretty strong. There's a lot of respect between us. There's a lot of knowledge between us. You more so than I could ever have, and everything like that. And so, first of all, allow me to go ahead and just thank you for your friendship and always wanting to go ahead and rock with this podcast for as long as you have, because you could have. 4 years ago, when I first decided to go ahead and ask Alex and Caitlin to do the show, and you were there with them, you could have easily said, "Nah, man, I'm good. I don't know who you are. I could give 3 craps." Like, and we look all this way now, and we've become good friends. The podcast has grown and everything like that. Like, you've been an integral part of this podcast, whether or not you want to admit it. You know that, right?
I appreciate it.
I appreciate you for doing everything you've done, for putting my name in circles that they shouldn't be and stuff like that. You guys have done a lot for me, and I would just want to make sure that I gave my flowers to you both, because I've gotten a chance to go ahead and see you guys grow as individuals, but I've also got a chance to go ahead and see you guys now grow as a couple and growing as a family. Planning we got a 2027 bride up in the building and a 2027 groom. Let's go ahead and give Steven some love. Let's go. But like, I want to ask, man, in a weird way. I asked this to Alex about a year ago, but what's Tormenting Tarmac meant to you, man? Because you've seen the podcast grow from literally the inception to where we are now. What do you think it's brought to the culture, man? I'm curious to get your thoughts.
I think you bring a lot of candid thoughts out of people, because when you're just speaking to a friend, you don't really. I mean, at least my lips are obviously not as sealed as Alex is. So I kind of speak my mind. I mean, really, I'm not really feeling like I'm being recorded and being on a podcast. I just kind of speak my mind like I will with a friend. And it's very freeing to see people do that with you and on your podcast, whether it be a video or just a podcast. So that's really refreshing to see because I feel like a lot of the podcasts have service structures to it instead of just it flowing as a conversation. I like that. I like that style, and it just feels like friends having a conversation as it really should be. So that's my take on the podcast. And then you've definitely grown. You definitely had a lot of incredible guests on the show. Like I said, I'm honored to be one of them.
That means a lot, man. Thank you so much. Because yeah, it's yeah, like we barely knew each other, and you guys
Mhm.
trusted me, and that takes a lot. You know what I mean? And that's I think that's been one of the cool things about this tournament, about this project over the last like few years is getting every single one of the friends that I've been able to go ahead and make on this podcast, including you guys. People don't realize I didn't know any of y'all except for like nope, nobody. Ron was my best friend since freshman year of high school, whom I started this podcast with.
Yeah,
Everybody else that's become a friend to this podcast, I met literally because, hey,
it's a great community. It's a
it's the
great
best
community.
community on the planet. And it's been really, really cool to see. But then I've told this to several of my friends because I'm starting to go ahead and see other people do so many other things. Me getting a chance to go ahead and see you guys and other friends of ours go ahead and move into epic portions of their lives has been such an amazingly cool thing. So, like, I talked to Alex when she did Nights of the Photography Roundtable back in December. She gave us her side of getting engaged after Car Week, but you didn't
Uh-huh.
get a chance to be there because you were busy doing what you do best, which is killing the game. So
Yeah.
I'll put you on the spot. How nervous were you when you decided to pop the question to Alex? And how long were you planning this engagement
I
and the ring
honestly,
for prior?
I can't tell you how long I've been planning it because I'm a pretty spontaneous person, but I think I had. I mean, obviously, it's not an easy decision to make.
You're telling me, man. I just
I
celebrated
I
13
don't.
years with Natalie on Monday, bro. Trust me, I know it's not an easy thing.
To be honest, I can't tell you when I decided to move forward with the ring. I think it must have been like about a month before Car Week or something like that because I figured I didn't want to do it at Car Week because I feel like that would have been too it would have been a little too cliche, but then I really didn't know what other better times I could do it because we had a trip to French Polynesia. And I really didn't want to do it there because that would have just been I mean everyone does that and I just don't feel like that would have been that's genuine just because I want to enjoy myself
100%.
on the on that trip. But um and
It
I
was also a
would
great way to celebrate the occasion, which is
yeah
different than planning for the occasion. You know what I mean?
yeah yeah and
And it threw me off.
yeah, and
Exactly.
I really
That's
wanted
the
to,
point.
I really wanted to mess with her. Um, I think I was quite nervous before the proposal because nothing had gone right. We had because the entire week I really didn't have a plan. I told Eddie I was gonna propose. I mean Saturday. I think Friday I moved to Saturday. Saturday I moved to Sunday. We were just trying to find go to the same spot that we took photos for her car, but the spot was busy. So very last second, I had to go find another spot, and she was doing the shoot that night. And this is when I learned about the satellite feature on my phone, which apparently you can text people when you don't even have service. And somehow
Such a random thing to learn, but I can appreciate it, bro. I
and
like it.
without it, I would have had no communication with Eddie, and Eddie just went and found the pull out and said, we'll just do that. We'll just do that here. And honestly, it wasn't the location that was planned. It wasn't the time it was planned because it was a little after sunset. And it was all very, very stressful. But at the end of the day, I took it for what it is, and it was a nice surprise. And um, I ended up having to have surgery right after. I don't know whether it was because of the stress that caused my appendix to burst, but I'm sure that has something to do with it. I can't put my finger on it because I'm sure that has been developing through the entirety of the car week, but the proposal didn't help. I can definitely say that.
Hey, listen, man,
Funny
you
too,
gave
because
her.
we had all this stuff planned to like use this very specific pullout. We got there, and not only was it in use, Cody was there with the
He was waiting for 10.
yeah, and there was some crazy car there, so all the kids had descended on that spot. So
And
the
we couldn't get
car,
out.
so the car, we couldn't get in or out. I had a photo shoot that was supposed to take place there, so I'm trying to get in contact with him to move the shoot to a new location. We're stuck here. We're missing sunset, and like the funniest thing was is I'm like here thinking like, oh my God, he cares so much about this photo shoot. He's gonna like he's going out of his way to get me unstuck. Like he never cares this much about my photo shoot. And the funniest like the sun's going down, we find a spot, we start the photo shoot, and then my client is like, "Hey, my friend's gonna pull up in
It
the
was just like one
SF90XX
thing after
and
the
the
other.
yellow Chiron. He's running a little late, but he'll be here."
You just see the cars go by. You just see the cars go straight by, and I don't know why we were going after the cars. We were almost planning on going to Big Sur to shoot those cars, and she ended up shooting those cars, and then it ended up going a lot longer than expected. So it was. Thankfully, I like to do things on the fly, so I was able to figure it out. But it was not planned. I mean, nothing went as planned. It was exactly the opposite of it, if you will. The only thing that did go as planned is I didn't fall in the ocean and die. Because like with my luck, everything had gone wrong. I would have just slipped and fell off of a cliff.
That would have been a real problem, man. That would have been a real problem.
That would have been shame.
You know what? But I told Alex this, and I think I texted you this, but you did well, my friend. You did well on the choice. The Rock is exceptional, but more so, you made an exceptional choice with Alexandra. And I'm not just saying that because she's my friend. I'm saying it because she's a genuinely kind, awesome individual. And you have always been a genuinely kind and awesome individual. And it's great to go ahead and see you two both getting a chance to go ahead and like move it to the next step in your lives and stuff like that. So from this perspective, when it happened, I totally geeked. Like I remember I think I was in the Amazon van and I was like taking a small break and whatever. And I'm just like scrolling on IG and whatnot. And then Alex drops this set and I was like, geeked out so hard in the van. I have never commented so quickly in my entire life. I messaged Alex. And then 2 seconds later, and I'm pretty sure I texted Steven. I was like, my man. And he knew exactly what I was referring to. And he was like, thanks, bro. And I was like,
we barely had service.
I know. And but you still texted me back on the most important day of your life. Well, it had already happened, obviously, but still, you went ahead and texted me afterwards and stuff like that. So, from my perspective, I was like, this is a huge W for everybody involved. You know what I'm saying? The world is healing and everything like that. So, I love it and everything like that. So, let me go ahead and put you guys on the spot, okay? Because I'm a person who likes to put people on the spot, okay? If you needed to be brought in to your wedding in whatever choice car you could, what is the chariot of choice you would like to go ahead and be brought in first? We'll go ahead and ladies first. The future Mrs. Ren, hit me. What would be the car to bring you in?
Oh, a yellow LT5000 Countach with white interior.
I'm not mad at that choice, actually. Actually, I also should not be.
But I want to be brought in like sitting on the wing.
Oh, dude, yeah. That's actually kind of gangster. Now, hold on. Now, are you saying on the wing or are you saying like in between the wing?
Like not on top of it.
Like legs underneath the wing, right? Yes. Okay, cool. Very cool. I like that. I dig that. That's very cool. Okay, sweet. Doors up, by the way. Doors up. Yes, 100%. Steven, what about you, brother? How are you rolling up?
I can appreciate the Countach, but not.
It's not his favorite.
For the investment, sure.
Well, listen, Steven and I both know what the greatest V12 Lamborghini is of all time, so we don't need to really go there. So it doesn't matter.
Are you talking about this one right here? Because I think it's this one.
We have a model of it that I bought at Parliament too. Yeah, we have a lot of Countach memorabilia at the house.
I know. I'm fully aware, but again, just in case anybody is curious, as cool as a Countach is, Murci is the goated one all day, every day. And to be fair, and Alex knows that I fully crashed out the last time that we did a podcast because Cody called the Diablo normal, and I was like, I'll leave right now, bro. Like, not call a Diablo normal. Yeah. Nobody calls a Diablo normal. I don't care if it's
the Murcis, but they're a handful to drive. I think ultimately it's whatever car I have, and I do want to make this a reality, but it's just prices are just fucking retarded. As a candidate, as it comes from me, as many friends would have heard this from me. I mean, I love the Aventador SVs. I don't like them in yellow. I don't like them in yellow.
Aventador doesn't.
You don't look good in yellow.
The Aventador doesn't look that great.
What do they say about money and taste?
I don't love them. I don't love them in yellow. I don't love Aventadors in yellow.
It doesn't hit that. I think I don't know what about because a Murci in yellow hits.
Works. Yes,
100%. And to be fair, I think that the one Lambo that hits in yellow the hardest, genuinely, is the Diablo. The Diablo in yellow with black wheels is little as makes no difference, nearly chef's kiss. But Aventador in yellow, I am not fully sold on it.
Aventador needs to be very, very loud. I mean, yellow is a loud color, but
yellow is a loud color. But like, for example, here's the perfect spec to me for an Aventador, and like for a regular Aventador, right? Or even Aventador S in yellow, it's okay. But I remember
not on the top of my list.
I think it was the press spec, the press car that came out for the first Aventador.
Yeah.
It was the orange in black. That to me is the perfect spec for an Aventador.
Yeah, orange is there's a local SV that's orange. It's very iconic. I just like SVs and like wow colors, but not like the craziest color. I like blue SVs. I like orange SVs. I like
black SV.
I'll do a black SV. You never see black SVs
with yellow accents.
I'll do a blue and white SV. I'll do
black with yellow accents hits 100%. Yes,
I like white. I don't know why. I really, really, really like white SVs. I think the blue and white SVs look amazing.
Are you talking about Aventador SV or are you talking about Murci SV? Or are you talking about both?
SV.
Okay, cool. Because I was going to say a Murci SV in white is crazy.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's like so fire. So fire. Okay. So we got a yellow Countach LP 5000 for Alex, and we got any dope ass Aventador SV.
A balloon white SV would be great. I mean,
yeah. Yo, were you surprised that balloon white Murci LP640 Roadster at Barrett didn't go for the number that I thought I was going to go for? Did you see what it went for? It went lower than I expected it to.
I mean, it's Barrett.
I understand that it's Barrett, but like I also understand what the market is on a Murci LP640, and it did not. I was just a little bit surprised.
Could have been the wrong day. Could have been the wrong time. I mean, there's a variety of.
I think it was a Friday car. It may have been a Friday or a Saturday. No, it was a Saturday.
It was a Saturday. Yeah. It must have been an early Saturday car. I don't know.
That was like Saturday afternoon. I remember sitting with. Yeah.
It didn't do as much as I'd expected, but it also did way more than I wanted it to do.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like in your case, I think most of us would want to go ahead and buy it for as low as possible and whatnot. But we also know what the market is, and I was just like more surprised. I was like, oh, this person kind of got a deal. Kind of. It's not enough.
Not with the fees. Yeah. They have
not with the fees. True. I always forget about the fees. That's the one thing that I forget about when it comes to
10% buyer fee plus 8% tax, so 18% on top of whatever they bought it for.
Yeah, that's a lot. So it ends up being, you might as well buy it off market, which by the way, if I can say this, if you are looking for an off market car and stuff like that, Steven's your guy. And also he's always looking for cars that are off market. So if you have any cool off market,
please sell me an SV, sell me a Super. Whatever it is, just sell it to me.
Just sell it to him. Are you down to go ahead and take a Kia Sorento with a brand new engine swap? I'm kidding.
The brand new what now?
Yeah. Oh no, did you not know, bro? Did I not tell you?
No.
I my engine crapped out on me 2 months ago. I have a brand new engine in the Sorento.
Oh man,
4,500 miles right now.
wow,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah, I
incredible.
need it. It's actually due for its first new oil change to go ahead and make sure that there's no metal shavings in the engine, which I pray to God that there shouldn't be. But yeah, gotta go ahead and take it in soon. Probably take it in
My
tomorrow.
God, that's
Yeah,
scary.
yeah, no, but but dude, when I tell you the process was so easy, like Kia USA took such good care of me. Oh, excuse me, I didn't. So obviously, because you don't know, I didn't pay for anything except for a brand new fuel pump. They took care of it. It was under warranty.
Oh, was it?
Yep.
Oh, it's a 10-year warranty.
No, well, it wasn't necessarily a 10-year warranty. It was the fact that there was a defect on the engines because I have the 2 liter petrol
God
non-turbo.
bless, God
Oh,
bless the
God
fact that
bless
they
them,
honor
dude.
that.
God
Most
bless them that they honored
manufacturers
it.
will run the other way.
Yep. I think what it was so many people started having issues with this engine that
Mhm.
as long as you were going ahead and doing the right maintenance on your car, Kia USA is honoring those warranties. And they did that for me. And I was just so grateful because
Good for them.
I'm screwed if I have to go ahead and pay for a new engine.
Good for them
And
for offering that.
yeah, they hooked it up. It took them a week and they gave me a car in the meantime to drive around.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they took
That's
good
awesome.
care of me. I can't. I'm a Kia loyalist for life. When people ask me like, "Oh, who are your favorite car brands?" I'll be like, "It's Lamborghini, it's Porsche, BMW, M in particular, M and Kia." And people are gonna be like, "I'm sorry, what does that make sense?" Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They took good care of me. Okay. Uh, the next
That's
time,
good.
if anybody asks me if Natalie and I renew our weddings, and somebody asks me, "Hey, what car do you want to go ahead and be rolled in?" I'll take a Kia Sorento with a brand new engine. Thank you very much. Just to go ahead and show them, and hopefully they'll just give me a free car. Um, Before we go ahead and wrap it on up, um, I love talking to you guys about deals and fun value that we're seeing and whatnot. And I know that it's kind of tough to see what value there is right now because the market has started to get out of control again. Um, Alex and Steven, I'll ask you both. You and I saw the three of us saw a very, very strong market in like 2023. Like there was a
Mhm.
peak, there was this bubble that ended up bursting, and now we've reached another bubble again. Let me ask you, do you guys see this bubble being bigger now than it was in 2023, or is it not quite there yet?
I think it's bigger than it was in 2023, but
Feels
I
like
think
it,
it's
right?
slightly different than in 2023. In
The
2023, it
cars are
felt like
different, that's for sure.
it was a response to what happened during COVID and the
COVID.
pandemic.
That was 22.
And that
Yeah,
was
that's a
like
great point.
22, 23, like all that stuff. I think that was that bubble, but this bubble feels more manufactured per se.
That's a
Like it feels like a
great way
lot
to
of
explain it.
individuals have realized that they can buy a lot of one type of car and work collectively to all price their cars at this point and
Mm-hmm.
almost manipulate the market.
Someone offered me to do that 3 years ago with the TDFs. I should have listened.
It
There were a million
feels
each then. No,
You
seriously.
can't
No,
say that
seriously.
out loud, bro.
It's
I'm
well,
just kidding.
no. I mean, I was
No, it's
offered to
true.
me. I didn't. I would
Yeah,
have
yeah,
loved to done it because I would have made a
yeah,
lot of money. But there are
yeah. Of
groups
course.
out there that do that. But also, people realize that these cars won't be made again.
but it feels like this bubble has a lot of like it's not a natural bubble. Like it
It's
feels like
not
there's
a
a
natural
lot of
bubble.
manipulation and strings getting pulled behind the scenes that are causing these prices.
But there are
Ferrari
logic behind
360
it.
CSs are the exact epitome of what you just described right now.
Oh,
I
more
don't.
than that, it's normal to see it happen to a handful of cars from every generation. It's normal.
Not that many though.
But it feels like you would expect to see it on like very specific cars. Other cars, it feels like something like it's not normal to see it at this level, especially with some of the cars historically. Like,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, CGTs for $6 million, that
yeah.
does not make sense.
I've
Like
never
at
driven one.
$2
People say
million, people's jaws were dropping, and
that
now
one.
they're
That
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make sense.
now they're saying like it's
They're
just
triple
some of
that
these
now.
values feel
Yeah,
so incredibly inflated and manipulated
Yeah.
I completely
versus
agree.
like the actual market value.
Yeah.
So I think
Is
we're
there
either
any
going to see a pop or a correction, but I also think people are buying cars they can't really afford. Like, let's be honest,
that's been
not
happening for
every,
forever though.
but these cars are so expensive now,
Yeah.
and the amount of them that are being bought at those prices, there's just not that many people who can actually afford those cars. And I think that we're going to see something like an '08 in the car market.
Bingo.
What was that? Vita?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, like for example, like here's a perfect example. We're starting to go ahead and see Ferrari 550s start to go up in price, right?
I mean, I was told that 6 months ago. I believe that.
We knew it was going to happen eventually, because it's a V12 6-speed manual and stuff like that, and all of the 550s are in manual, whereas 575s, half of them are, and then 599s, I think they made like less than 100 in manual and stuff like that. But like it was eventually going to happen, and by the way, we're starting to go ahead and see regular Diablos start to shoot up because all the cool Diablos are already way too expensive. But here's what I'm starting to notice is that dealers are starting to go ahead and buy these cars at a really high price, thinking that they'll be able to go ahead and get an even bigger price off of what they bought it for.
That's speculation, right? That happens.
That's speculation, but that's an insane speculation. And if you're giving into said speculation,
dealers have done that. I mean, I know a dealer with 20 G-Wagons that lost their ass on all of the G-Wagons, but that's just a speculation some people make, and those speculations do pay off. I will say.
Some speculations do, sure.
Most of these cars that are appreciated make sense. 458s make sense. We knew that was coming. The F8s are great cars. The 296 aren't that great. So F8s are
360 CSs. Yeah. Well, 360 CSs are weird. I knew it was going to happen with a 360 CS. But that one special 360 CS that sold at the beginning of the year what did it sell for like 800?
Much.
Way too. Facts. Way too much.
Scuds and all those cars makes no sense. I mean, it makes
Scuds
sense.
Make some sense. 360 CSs, I'm like a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I also don't think SVJ should be $1.5 million. I mean, they're cool cars, but SVJ should not be $1.5 million.
And Ultimate shouldn't be $1 million still.
No, Ultimates are actually much cheaper than SVJs. It makes no sense. I mean,
yeah,
people saw what SVJs are going for, and now bringing up Ultimates. It's just that whole Aventador market doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's the last naturally aspirated V12, but if you put an exhaust on the Rivalto, it doesn't have the single clutch. It doesn't make that explosion on the upshift.
Yeah, but I mean, you want a dual clutch in a Rivalto anyways because it's a way better driving transmission.
So I give Rivalto a few years. I don't know about the Aventador market. I think Aventadors are inflated. Just my opinion, but like other cars, I think makes sense. I think the Ferraris, the values are doing make sense. The SLS and all those cars, they make sense. They make sense. It's just
let me ask you this: do 997 3RSs make sense at what they're, especially dot twos? That I don't think makes sense, and I get it, but it still doesn't make a lot of sense.
4.0s make sense.
4.0s make sense.
4.0s make sense, but not 3.8s at $700,000.
No, that doesn't make any sense. I mean,
that to me is crazy.
Great driving car makes my GT3.
Oh yeah, the tits, 100%.
Makes my GT3 make my GT3 feel like a boat. Make my GT3 feel like a truck. Great driving car, difficult car to drive because of the light flywheel, but one of the best driving experiences out there. Will I pay $700? Probably not. Will I pay $400? Probably. So $700 is a little high, but ultimately the Porsche buyers are a different demographic. So I don't foresee that car coming down just because of the demographics. I mean, Porsche buyers are not gonna. They are not. Porsche buyers are very savvy. They're not gonna let their car go. Once Porsches go up, they don't come down.
That might be the bar of the night right there. Once Porsche goes up, it never comes down. That's
other cars may, but Porsche sellers will hold. They will not sell. They will artificially inflate the market.
They will artificially
because
inflate
they can afford to.
Yeah, GT3 Tourings are GT3 Tourings are the absolute prime example of what you just described. Because it's weird that GT3 Tourings have never dropped, but yet regular GT3s and 991.2 did. Even those ones with the 6-speed manual. Wing cars dropped heavier than the touring cars did, and I've never understood why. Mind you, I say this knowing the fact that I prefer a touring, but you had a GT3 wing car, the 6-speed manual beforehand.
Yeah, I think wing cars are heavily financed compared to the non-wing cars. So I mean, it has to do with the demographics. I mean,
true.
That's why. Yeah, we won't go into that, but
no, for sure. I see what you mean, though. I got you.
It goes into the market.
So then let me ask you one more last fun question before we go ahead and wrap it on up tonight. And Steven, I'll ask you first, and I'll go ahead and hand it on over to Alex. In this entire weird, fun, crazy bubble that we're seeing right now, one car at what's a reasonable, it's going to sound weird, what's a reasonable price that we can think of? Because you can say 100 grand, but 100 grand doesn't get you crap these days as much as it did 10 years ago, let alone 5 years ago. So let's say, do we say 400 or do we say five? Like, let's call it between 4 and 5, which is a big price. But let's, we have fun, right? It's fun money. We're playing with house money. What's a car that you're looking at between 400 and 500 that you say to yourself, yeah, I'd buy that and drive it and enjoy it for 30 years?
It's a lot of money for a car.
It is, but like, am I right in thinking that that's the most reasonable price to think of right now?
It's a very awkward price for me.
Yeah. Should we go higher or should we go lower?
300 and 400, I'm taking a Performante.
Spider perf or regular perf?
Regular perf.
I actually, in between, I like that the Spider, when the top's down, you have so much visibility for a Lamborghini.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so let's play 300. Let's play 3 to 4. Let's call it that.
I'm taking a
So Alex,
Performante.
you're going Spider perf or just perf in general?
Just a Performante.
Just a Huracan Performante.
Such
What spec? What's the spec?
It's gonna
Yellow?
be yellow. And
Did
the
they
interior's
Did they make yellow Performantes?
Yeah, they made yellow perfs. They're very rare.
How rare is that? Because I'm pretty sure that's a rare color for a Performante.
Like low double digits.
Like I was gonna say, like
almost
20
every
of them?
car is rare in yellow if they make
Yeah.
it yellow at
No,
all.
but like there's plenty of regular yellow Huracans, but I don't think I've ever seen a Performante in yellow.
Yeah, they made them in yellow. So I would probably take a yellow Performante with like have to have the buckets.
That's flat. Yeah, 100%. You don't buy a Performante with no buckets.
I love the buckets.
People hate them.
I love the buckets.
But Steven, you're bulked up, bro. So your hips are wide. Of course you don't like the buckets. That's like me sitting in
No, it's just very uncomfortable.
There's no padding. You're sitting on
True.
hard.
That's like me sitting in Ray Roberts' E92. It just doesn't make sense.
It's the perf bucket.
Okay. 300, 400 for you, bro. Where are we at?
I think perf is a great buy. No, I genuinely think so. I think the perf is a really good buy. I wasn't that big of a fan of the Lamborghinis, not the Huracans, but until you drive the perf, you can't knock on it. For 400
perfs are great.
They're fantastic cars. I think I really like the you can't get an SV for 400, but you can probably get an S for 400. I think that's a really good car that you can put.
S at 400 is doable. Yes, I would agree. That's basically, is that MSRP? That was MSRP when it first came out too, right?
S's were probably $500,000 or so.
MSRP? Okay.
Yeah,
I thought they were like high 300s starting, but maybe you're probably right. Maybe spec'd up, it was almost $500,000. You're probably right.
Most of them are in the mid 4s to high 5s. I mean, some S's are fetching over 5s right now, so S will be a stretch for 400. I mean, there's very little cars that you can you can only buy one cool car for that amount of money. You can get an F8. I would love to have an F8 Spider.
F8 Spider at 300 grand would be so sick.
They're in the high 3s for an F8 Spider, nearly 400 for an F8 Spider. The Perf is a really good car. What else? I mean, just between those, probably one of those. I mean, it's not something that would be an ultimate dream car, but the really good cars in that range. 9923 RS, love to have one for 400. I don't know roughly where they're at. I stopped following Porsches because
that market is so weird right now. I think people are overpaying on 9923 RSs right now still.
Yeah, I think that's a cool car to have for 400.
It's a cool car to have, but not to overpay on. Yeah.
No, I think that's 350 for that car is
350. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because 350 sounds reasonable, but like when people were still like in 2024, when they were overpaying and you were paying like 550 on a 3RS, I was just like, bro,
it's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't know what other cars would I buy. I mean, just gave a few examples. Those are just the best driving cars that I can imagine.
I've got a car for you, which is a little bit older than the two examples that you guys just gave, but it's along the lines of Alex. She mentioned an Huracan Perf, whether it be Spider or Coupe. I feel like LP 570 Gallardo Superleggeras can be had around that money, and like that's
They
kind of
can.
that's a
They can.
dope car, dude.
Really cool car. Not a driver's car,
Super.
but a really
Not a
cool car.
driver's car, but still like it's interesting because it's not a driver's car yet. It is the track focused version of the Gallardo, but it's more of a hammer than it is because
That's most Lamborghinis minus the perf.
yeah, like minus the perf because the perf can hang, and but
Yeah.
I mean don't get me wrong, so can a Gallardo Superleggera, but like it is a
Yeah.
hammer compared to how would you describe how would you describe the Huracan perf? Like not what's the opposite of a hammer?
It's kind of like
Like a scalpel almost,
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
like a very like a
Precise
big
tool.
scalpel. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Like almost like like one of those cleavers, if you will. That's how
Yeah.
I consider which at least it still cuts through stuff and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know, like a Superleggera Gallardo second gen LP570. I think those are kind of underappreciated at the moment.
They are.
They
They
are,
are. It's one of
and
the next cars there.
it's one of the next cars to blow up because like Gallardos with 6-speed manuals in particular, like first generation Superleggeras are already they're gone.
They're expensive. Yeah.
They're getting above $500,000 at this point. I would say the 5.2 liter Gallardo with the 6-speed manual is also starting to go ahead and go away. That like in terms of money, I think that's like what high 400s and whatnot, somewhere around there. So
They're
that
all
might be
expensive.
yeah, they're getting too expensive. And honestly, if I'm going to mention Superleggeras, I might as well mention regular LP560 Gallardos, LP560-4s. Those ones to me are probably the Gallardo to buy right now.
I think they're super cool.
They're super rad.
They're just missing tech. I think it wouldn't be the only car you have. I think that's a
No,
great
I agree.
fifth or sixth supercar you buy just for yeah.
But it's just cool. It's cool in the sense that it's a very cool V10 Gallardo, but it's like just that enough nostalgia of like, yeah, this is when Lamborghini was like right
It still
before
had a single clutch
peak.
too. Yeah.
It's had a single clutch. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you could get a LP560 with a manual, but they made like talk about low volume. I think they made like 15 manuals, bro. Like they barely made any. Yeah.
Those things are money.
That's money. That's like a $700,000 car every day, all day. Guys, I'm so grateful that you guys went ahead and hop back on. I know Alex has gone ahead and yawned a couple of times. I'm so sorry. I know it's late. It's okay. No worries. I appreciate you guys' time. It's been a blast and everything like that. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to go ahead and hop on the podcast tonight. It's been a while. Steven, it's been a hot minute and everything like that. And Alex and I, we always get a chance to run it, and we'll I'm starting to wonder whether or not it's starting to get more harder and harder to do nights of the photography roundtable, but we'll see if we can make it happen this upcoming Christmas and whatnot. But anything cool that you guys got upcoming other than getting married, of course? I know that you recently did a very cool photo shoot in Monterey a few weeks ago. That was awesome to see, Alex. You killed it over there and whatnot. So
thank you.
I know you're doing bookings sporadically, but if people do want photography of their cars, you can always hit up Automotive Alex on Instagram. That's for sure, right?
Yep.
All right, cool. Anything cool upcoming that you guys got coming up other than the wedding?
Car Week's in August, so that's cool.
Car Week is in August. I won't be able to attend because I'm going to Vegas this upcoming June, but I've got a backup, and I'm going to see if that works instead. I'm going to see if I go to Vegas in November for the Win Concours.
Instead. You should. A lot of stuff is moving to Vegas in Car Week.
I am going to try because I don't have to be there for that long a time either. I just have to be there for 2 days instead of being in Monterey for 4.
Yeah.
So, and it's only a 4.5 hour drive.
It's not bad.
It's really not. Yo, Steven, can I borrow a car to get up to Vegas? I'm kidding. No, I appreciate you guys hopping on the podcast. If Steven, of course, is still very much one of the most sought after real estate agents in the entire metropolitan area. So if you want to go ahead and sell your house or you need to buy a house, Steven's your man. The man makes exceptional deals happen. And I'm not just saying that because he's my boy, but he makes it happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm every single time I see my boy get another award, I got like my eyes get super teary. It's like, you love to see it. So if you want to go ahead and hit him up, it's a write-off. And of course, he'll, you can always look him up online, Steven Ren. You can go ahead and see all of his info for his real estate information and all that good stuff. And then that's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jorge.
No, it's my pleasure. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys' time. Alex Sczudlo, Steven Ren. And if you want to go ahead and check us out on Instagram, you can at Tormenting Tarmac. And of course, you can go ahead and follow the podcast on Spotify and on Apple and all that good stuff. If you could leave us a comment and leave us some ratings. Here's something really cool that I'll go ahead and mention before we go ahead and sign off. I don't know how accurate this is, but I was looking at a website the other day that apparently has ranked the 100 best automotive podcasts in the United States. And they have done it by, they've taken ratings, they've taken where you trend, they take listenership, all that good stuff. And according to this, and this article came out on June 5th, and I think it's called millionpodcast.com or something like that. And this is not a joke, and I'm not being facetious anyway. I'll add this so you guys can't get back to me and say it was bullshit. According to them, Tormenting Tarmac is the 46th best podcast in automotive in the United States of America. That's according to them. All right.
Wow.
Now I don't know how accurate this is, but if you think that this is the 46th best podcast on the planet, or excuse me, the planet in the United States, I will happily take it. Thank you for making the brown kid with the curly black hair with glasses who drives a Kia Sorento the 46th best podcast in automotive in the United States. I owe you one to everybody that's listening. That's Alex Sczudlo, that's Steven Ren, and my name is Jorge Aquino, and you have been listening to the 46th best automotive podcast in the United States, and it's called Tormenting Tarmac. It's the podcast where the enthusiast never dies. We'll go ahead and catch you guys next time. Good night, everybody.